I am a mom. I have 3 kids. I'm a registered massage therapist. And I just have come across tons of moms over the last 6 years of being a parent myself and 8+ years of being a massage therapist. Moms who are so burnt out and they just don't know why. They just feel like they can't keep up. They have all these things going on all the time. They feel like they're being pulled in so many different directions and they're just being spread too thin and they are burnt out. And I feel like the typical advice out there for moms, or not just for moms, but like for self care, is really, really non-accessible for moms. Like I said, I'm a mom of 3. I have a career. We homeschool, and my youngest is currently not sleeping through the night. He is waking up around 3 times a night on average right now. And so when I hear self-care gurus and people saying like, you just have to wake up earlier, get your me time in before your kids wake up, it makes me want to lose my mind a little bit because I prioritize sleep. I love sleep and I need it to function. So I choose to sleep in a little bit longer instead of waking up a little bit earlier to get that time to myself. Because if I wake up earlier, we also live in a really small house. My other 2 kids will hear me and they will get up anyways. And then we're just all up earlier instead of me, or instead of us all getting a little bit of extra sleep and me getting alone time. It just sort of extends the day a bit. So things like that. Or people will say like, you have to do an hour of yoga every day and 30 minutes of meditation and journaling and your 12-step skincare routine. And I'm like, who's got the time for that? Who's got the time? I sure do not. So that is why I am here doing what I do, teaching moms accessible, realistic things for self-care and taking care of your nervous system so that you don't have to go through burnout, because Lord knows we do not have any extra time in our days, and a lot of the times we are already at capacity. We cannot add something else to our to-do list even if we know it'll be really good for us, and the season for those things will come. They're just not right now. And I don't think it's fair that moms with young kids have to struggle through burnout or feeling less than and having no self-worth because they can't do these things to take care of themselves. So I want to start with some really basic things that moms with young kids can do for self-care that don't add to the to-do list and don't take up a ton of time, because it's things you're probably doing throughout the day anyway, just with this focus of like, you're doing this to take care of yourself so that you don't burn out, so that you can take care of your kids. Because even if we're in burnout, if we're sick, if we are feeling like depressed and down, we can't just take a sabbatical or take a week vacation to get away. Like, it's just not realistic for us. So the first thing that we can do for self-care to take care of our nervous system, because this is something that we are not always taught, is how to take care of our nervous systems, is getting outside. And I know that sounds really like, duh, but I know how hard it can be to get outside when you have young kids and you may push them outside and say like, go outside. But then like, I've definitely been caught up in realizing at the end of the day, my kids went outside, but I didn't actually go outside because I used that time to like unstack the dishwasher, put on a load of laundry, and then remembered, oh, I have to do this thing. And before you know it, I'm like, oh, I didn't actually get outside. And it could be 3 or 4 days before I realize, like, why am I feeling so grumpy? Because I didn't get outside. Our bodies are designed in a way that we actually need the sunshine to create vitamin D hormone, which is actually a hormone, in our body for things to function properly. So we need at least 5 to 10 minutes of sunshine. And there's lots of different ways you can do it. Like if you get outside with your kids, trying to be present in that moment rather than thinking about all the things that you should be doing, or like volunteer to take the garbage out. I know it kind of sucks, and usually that's like the husband's job, but sometimes taking out the compost or the garbage, and then I will just like stand outside for a couple minutes and just soak in the sunshine. Even outside today, it's like a gloomy day. There's not sunshine, but it just rained. And after it rains, there's a ton of negative ions in the air, which is going to be one of my tips later. Well, we'll just make it number 2. Negative ions. There's lots of different ways to get negative ions in your body. water being the number one best way, like being near a waterfall or just after it rained, the ocean, lakes, things where there's probably a lot of like moisture in the air. So things like fluorescent lights and hair dryers and things like that, they create positive ions in the atmosphere. And we spend, especially here in Canada, we spend a lot of the year inside. And so we are surrounded by positive ions, which is not good for our body. It actually brings us down and creates a lot of anxiety and depression, things like that. So getting negative ions is really key for us and can really help your well-being, your self-esteem, your self-worth. So getting to areas or like outside just after it rained, like, have you ever wondered why you feel really good on rainy days? Like, I love rainy days, and it's just it's harder to get outside, but it puts me in a good mood. I think that's why, is the negative ions. And also a good Himalayan crystal salt lamp, those also put off negative ions. So you can easily Google different ways to get negative ions, and you'll feel really good. Another way to support your nervous system in times of stress or tension is to get a laugh. Like, just start laughing. And when you have kids, I know those moments where you're like trying to get out of the house and you've told them to put their shoes on 10 times and they're just not listening. They're just running off and doing their thing. And you just want to, like, you're about to lose it on them. Just, if you have the like mental reminder to just pause for a minute, take a deep breath, and then make the silliest noise you can possibly manage, they will stop and look at you, and they will start laughing, and you will start laughing, and it just breaks that tension. It just releases that like feeling of stress up here, and suddenly you can be in your right mind again to be like, okay, let's just like restart. And chances are they'll listen to you, and they're watching you and seeing those coping mechanisms. And if they see, like, instead of mom losing it and yelling, because nobody really wants to be the one with mom rage, right? We just want our kids to listen. I get it. But they see that and they watch how you regulate your nervous system, and they will begin to copy those things. And so by learning these things ourselves, we're also like teaching our kids how to regulate their nervous systems, which helps them regulate their emotions, which is a really powerful thing. So get a laugh, do what you can, even in the moment. If it doesn't seem productive, if it's like the last thing you want to do, I promise it will instantly help just improve things in that moment, and then get things going faster again. And the reason why is because when you're stressed out and you're feeling the tension and you're about to lose it, you're releasing those stress hormones in your body, cortisol and adrenaline. And then when you laugh, it releases those feel-good hormones. So it can even create like some bonding with your kid in that moment. So we're actually like hacking your physiology of your body to, instead of feeling stress, like feel good and regulate your nervous system. The next thing you can do is get like a collection of books on something that you're really interested in right now, and try to read instead of picking up your phone to scroll. If you have a couple minutes, whatever it is, like as the kids are getting ready for bed, you might naturally like pick up your phone and scroll to kind of like see what's the latest on social media, but instead try to pick up a book. Or the last 30 minutes before you go to bed, instead of sitting in your bed or on the couch scrolling, try to pick up a book and something that you're interested in. And I know trust me, I get it. The thing you want to do is shut off your brain. You don't want to like pick up a book, but reading actually is relaxing. It is not like brain stimulating. So it is because you're reading and you're learning, but it's actually relaxing to your brain and releases those relaxing hormones, instead of when you're scrolling and you're looking at social media and you're thinking about like how much you're missing out on or falling behind or suck. That's releasing stress hormones. So we want to repattern that like getting ready for bed kind of routine, instead of feeling ending the day in a stressful state. You're ending the day in a relaxing state. It's getting you ready for bed, so your brain's not like constantly running all night long with all the things when you have a hard time shutting off your brain. Okay, my next one is to eat enough calories. I think an ongoing sort of mom like joke that we all know is that we just eat whatever's left on the kids' plates, and that's what we have for lunch. Whether it's like the last few bites of their sandwich or their chicken nuggets or their crackers or whatever, and that's like all we ate today. I really want to change that. There is so much information out there to show that if you don't have enough calories, your body's going to go into survival mode because it doesn't have the calories it needs for the energy it needs to produce the functions that it needs to do. Yes. Okay, where was I? So eating enough calories is really important. If you don't get enough, your body's going to go into survival mode. It's going to hold everything it can. You're not going to lose weight. You're going to be irritable and not have good digestion, and just all of that will connect into like your body going into survival mode, and that will come out in your emotions and the way that you respond to the people around you, like your family, right? So like one of the main components of the major foundations of self-care is eating enough, getting enough calories, and that means like healthy fats, carbs, and protein. Enough protein is really key. I took a course by Corey Malloy called Freely Rooted. It was incredible. It really helped me understand a lot of the ways that I eat were not actually supportive to my body, and it's just so good. I highly recommend it. I'll put the link down below if you want to check it out and see if it might be right for you too. Another way that is actually like something you can do for self-care is saying no to things. Even if you think it's so good for your kids, it's an activity that is like, I don't know, gonna do something for them. Okay, I get it. Really, when somebody asks you to do something or make a commitment to something, or you're thinking like, I gotta get my kids in more activities, really what it is that fear of disappointing people. If somebody asks you to do something, you don't want to say no and disappoint them. You want to be the person that's responsible and reliable and that people can count on. And learning how to say no, even if it makes you feel like you're doing nothing, just like remember the season that you're in right now with young kids is foundational with building your relationships with them and with their development. Like the first 7 years shapes who they are as a person a lot. Like a lot. It's those like foundational habits and building blocks that is going to set them up for success. And I'm not saying it's like the only thing that is going to be like set them up for their life forever, but as a family, as a mom, this is the time we say like, oh, it goes by so fast. Like, hang on, don't blink. It goes by so fast. And I want to be home for that. I don't want to be out doing a million activities all the time and then come home and feel like, oh, why am I so burnt out, right? I don't have time for anything. Learning to say no to things so that you can actually just like hang out with your kids and have the time to sit and play. It means like maybe you're not out of the house all day so that when you come home you have to cook dinner and clean and catch up on all the household stuff. It means that you can get that stuff done earlier in the day and then really just be present with them and play and build connections with them. This is something that I had to really sit with and realize like I can make commitments to certain things later in life. Right now, my priority is being home with my kids as much as I can and being present with them as much as I can. And if that means that like I have to say no to other things, I'm okay with it. I'm just okay with it for this season in our life for like the next 5 years. And then we'll reevaluate then. But right now, I'm okay with saying no. And that's like just really something I had to learn how to do. Okay, and the last one I want to go over is buying non-toxic products. When your body is under chemical stress from all the ingredients and all these millions of different products that we use because of marketing, your body is like, it's like a river. I say this a lot. Imagine your body's like a river and a garbage truck pulls up and dumps a ton of garbage into the river. The river, if it's strong enough, will be able to push away the garbage. That's what your body is designed to do. Like your lymphatic system is to like flush out the toxins. But if a garbage truck comes and does that every single day for years and years and years, eventually the garbage is going to pile up because the river's not able to push it all away. And then the river's going to slow down to like just a tiny little trickle and not be able to push the garbage away anymore. And then we wonder, like, why am I gaining weight and irritable and not able, like, my body's not able to function the way it used to in its 20s? Because we're trashing our nervous system and our metabolism and not able to clean away the toxins like your body is supposed to be able to do. They just build up. So by using non-toxic products, natural products as much as you can, it supports your body's natural ability to heal and be in homeostasis, to be in balance. It allows your nervous system not to be like overloaded with all this crap and function properly so that you can handle those moments when you feel like you're about to lose it. You have the capacity to just like take a breath and step back and explain to your kids, like, I'm about to react in a way I don't want to, so I'm going to take a minute, like 30 seconds over here by myself, and then we'll come back and talk. But if you're overwhelmed and overstimulated and you don't even have the capacity to take that breather for a second, one of the things you can do is switching over your products. And it sounds like, well, that's a lot, that's expensive, it doesn't really help that much. I promise it will help. I promise it will, because it's the way our body is designed. And that's what I believe is true self-care, is working with your body in the way it's designed in your anatomy and physiology to help regulate your nervous system. All the deep breathing in the world is not going to help if you're constantly just running up against the way your body is supposed to work naturally. If you found this video helpful, feel free to like it and subscribe so you get more information and education like this, and check out the description below for more links for free resources that I've created for you, as well as our community called Kind Culture. We're going to be going through a 5-day nervous system reset in there, so you can go ahead and check it out in there. It's free. We'll see you in there.